You are the best little filming buddy, JoJo. Yes, I love you. I have to get started now, okay? Love you. We gotta get this train. Gotta get this train going. Don't you step on that stuff and make noise on purpose. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It feels like I have been... Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Megan. Hi, nice to meet you. So I already kind of think that today's video is going to be a longer one. So I'm going to go ahead and leave timestamps down below as to what questions you may have, because based on the title, obviously today we are talking about everything you need to know about having a job in high school. Okay, so I'm gonna ramble for a few minutes, but then we'll dive in. So timestamps are down below if you want to just jump ahead. So first things first, I have to give credit to where credit is due. I had two students who asked me to film and post this video. So my sweet little angels, Marvins and G2, this is for you. I teach sophomores. I teach high school world history, 10th grade. And so for anyone that is out there that is watching this video and is in high school and is thinking that they want to get a job, this video is for you. I have a lot of students that were only sophomores, now going to be juniors, who had jobs like Gabe, lifeguard, Chloe works at Rue 21, Alex P works at Twisty Treat. Oh gosh, who else? If I'm forgetting anybody, they're gonna be so upset with me. A lot of my kids were looking for jobs during the school year and just, you know, wanted guidance on how to get there, what to do, how to do, etc., etc. So that's why this video is coming about. Now, this is also like sideways, whatever. This is just a little segue, but one of my girls, Elena, got me on the last day of school Jeffree Star stuff, and oh my gosh, I just had to talk about it because I'm wearing a liquid lip, and yeah, she was right. It is freaking beautiful. Elena, if you're watching this, thank you. I love you. You're the sweetest human on the face of the planet. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Just to talk about the channel for a second, I kind of talked about at the very end of my last video that my student roast videos are coming soon. My plan for that is that I am filming this video on Wednesday. My plan is for the student roast videos to be a series that goes from this upcoming Friday, which will have already passed by the time you see this, but so I'm going to upload those student roast videos for the next 4 Fridays, and then hopefully another video on like Sunday, I'm thinking. So that's kind of the plan for the next month, and I'm so excited for you guys to see those videos because I think they are very funny at my expense. I think that's all of the rambliness that I needed to do. So let's go ahead and jump into our survival guide of having a job in high school. So here's my situation with having a job in high school. I, from like the time I entered high school, wanted to have a job because I wanted to have money. But alas, I lived pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And you know, my mom is a single mom, a teacher. She did not have time to be driving me around all over the place for me to go to a job, right? So I couldn't get a job until I had a car. I turned 16 the beginning of my junior year, but I didn't get a car until like October. But by the time that happened, I was already I mean, you guys know, junior year of high school is your craziest year. I was taking 3 AP classes. I was an officer in the drama club. I had a boyfriend. Like, I did not have time for a job. So my junior year of high school, I wasn't really thinking about having a job. I think I like babysat and stuff, but besides that, nothing. My summer between junior and senior year, I was a lifeguard. Shout out to Shipwreck Island Water Park, Panama City Beach. During that time, I got, being a lifeguard was my first real job, and I worked so much that I was able to save up quite a bit of money from that, and so that was great. And then pretty soon, once my senior year of high school started, even though I was still taking AP classes, and then I was vice president of the drama club and broke up with that boyfriend and started dating another boyfriend, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a job, because all of my friends worked at Aeropostale in the Panama City Mall, and I was like, bro, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I did. And I worked at Aeropostale my entire senior year of high school. Now, that being said, that's working twice a week, probably. I know some of my kids work like 5 days a week. Oh yeah, and G1 works at the movie theater. Okay, so there you go. Some of my kids work all the time, and I'm like, holy cow, how you do it? And we will get into that in this video. But that is my experience with working in high school. I'm gonna go kind of like chronologically in terms of our survival guide. And so I have kind of 5 main things that I want to touch on. First thing I want to talk about is, should you get a job? Okay, so these are all questions that you need to ask yourself before even considering if you should get a job. The first, and honestly the most important, is transportation. If you are under 16, or you don't have your license, or you don't have a car, you need to figure out how the heck you would even get to that job. Are your parents gonna be like okay with taking you to that job every single day? Do you live like in town somewhere where you can just like skirt on over to like the Pizza Hut or the movie theater or the Twisty Treat? Can you walk? Is that an acceptable distance? Like, be very honest with yourself, because you don't want to go through the trouble of job interviewing and getting a job and then 2 weeks later being like, oh, sorry, like I have no way to get there, because that sucks for everybody. Also, like, you're in high school. I understand that some situations are different, and maybe you literally have to get a job to support your family, and like I get it. But if you are in the situation where you can get a job or you can't, like, it just is up to you, be very honest with yourself, because say, for example, you have 2 different people. You have someone like me who is taking many AP classes and is involved in activities. Maybe you do a sport. I didn't do a sport, but maybe you do a sport. Do you really have time for a job? Like, can you really like dedicate time and effort and stress to being at that job? Because if you can't, just don't get a job. Or I can think of it on the other side. If, like, say you are in school and you know that maybe necessarily, and I'm going to use this example because I can like rationalize it. Maybe you know that like college and getting masters and a doctorate is like not for you, but you know something you are like interested in, like for sure. Like, say for example, you know you want to work in a kitchen, you want to be a cook, maybe you want to own a restaurant, which you can go to college for, but follow my logic here. To me, it makes sense, especially being 14, 15, 16, 17 in high school, whatever. If you know that that is like the industry you want to be in, go find a restaurant to be like, I don't even know, I never worked in a restaurant, but like a dishwasher, a busboy, a hostess, a server, and work your way up and get that experience, because it will help you later on in life. If you want to run a kitchen by the time you're 23, which is crazy, like, to me, but like, you have to have that experience. So if you already know you want to do those things, say you want to be a mechanic, well, maybe go and see if you can work in the shop part-time, whatever. If the opportunity is there, try and look for a job that makes sense for your future career, if that makes sense. But again, we're still in, should you get a job? Be honest with yourself, because it's embarrassing to get a job and then quit a job. Like, 2 weeks later. So number 2 is finding a job, and I think this was the biggest question that my kids had, because my kids were 15 turning 16, and a lot of places don't want to hire babies, and that's like just the truth of it. And I remember being 15 and 16 and 17 thinking that I was grown and I was capable. A lot of places don't want to hire kids because they're honestly a liability. They don't have open availability. So here's kind of my advice to skirting around that and getting a job. It is all about who you know, right? I got my job as a lifeguard because my friend Sarah Jane already worked there. And so she, like, obviously I was capable. I could do an interview. I was a normal human. I could get the job. But, you know, she was like, hey, make sure Megan gets the job. Same way with Aeropostale. My two of my best friends from high school, Sawyer and Sarah Jane, worked at Aeropostale. Hey, get Megan a job. Like, she's capable. Granted, I did the interview by myself, but it's all about who you know. So if you have a family friend who owns, I don't know, a Moe's or a movie theater, or if your friend already works at Twisty Tree. I know Alex P was hooking up Bree at Twisty Tree, right? So that being said, talk to your friends, figure out where you could even work, and then apply there. Because realistically, if you're like, oh, I don't want to work at Twisty Tree, like that was, maybe they might be the only one that would hire you because you're a baby. So put in your time at the crappy jobs, make you some money, you'll move on. Something that I thought about that was really smart, really smart, but if you want to work in retail, okay, I mean like a clothing store, like in the mall, anything like that, anything, even Best Buy, places like Kohl's, places like that, okay, there are seasons in retail that they hire extremely. Now I'm putting this video out because hopefully if you want a job, you can see this and then immediately go out and take this knowledge with you. But 2 main seasons in retail are back to school, because everybody is out shopping. Tax-free weekend is crazy. And guess what? Back to school is August. I don't know when tax-free weekend is. It's usually the first weekend in August. It's the end of June, so they are hiring now so that they can be prepared and have you kids trained by the time that back to school starts. Because, oh, you've worked 4 shifts, you're trained, you can work the register for back to school. So if you want a job in retail, start applying now because they are hiring now. Obviously, the second big season is holiday. And holiday starts pretty much, I would say, the week before Thanksgiving break. So like the week before Black Friday, if not the entire month of November to December. And guess when they are hiring for that? October. Okay? So if you're not ready now, like, oh my gosh, I want to enjoy summer, I want to get started with school before I get a job, October is your time to go out and apply, because people, I promise you, they do not even care. A lot of places do not even care who they hire. They just want people there. You will get hired if you show up and are a person who looks normal. You will get hired. Besides that, if you're like, well, I don't want to work in retail, I don't know what I want to do, apply. Okay? It takes time, but it doesn't hurt, and you never know what's going to come out of it. Apply anywhere. Even if they have like, oh, you can't get hired if you're under 18. Just maybe apply anyways if you really want to work there. Like at Michael's, a lot of Michael's stores do not hire kids under 18. Unless you just seem really cool. Like, you know, like it's almost, in some cases, like rules are fake. Apply. You cannot get a job if you don't just apply. You can't sit there and say, oh, why don't I have a job? Baby girl, you're probably not applying for enough jobs. Apply again. Through your application process, and maybe if you've submitted an application online, go into that store. Don't call, because that's freaking annoying, okay? Go into the store and just be like, hi, I put in an application online, and can you tell me if you're hiring? Because hopefully that manager will either be like, baby girl, you can always apply, but we're not hiring. Or they'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, holiday season is coming up. What's your name? Blah, 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 blah. And keep in mind, when you go into, okay, so this is how you do this, okay? Because God, I used to be a manager at Michael's, and people are just annoying if they don't know what they're doing. So that being said, if you are going in to ask for people, please God, wear something that is not booty shorts and flip-flops. Okay, don't have your AirPods in your ear. And you don't have to wear a tuxedo, just be well dressed. You know, wear your little Vans and jeans and a cute shirt or whatever, okay? But don't go in there looking like a hobo, okay? Be like, hey, I was wondering if I could speak to your hiring manager or any manager that's available. Then, and especially if it's not super busy. If it's super busy, come back. Don't annoy them with that. Be like, hey, I put in an application online. I was just wondering if you guys are actually hiring right now, and hopefully they'll tell you one way or the other. Honestly, in my experience, because I've had to do that too, the more professional you are, the more they are willing to be honest with you, hopefully. And so, like, if you have your heart set on one place, they can tell you straight up, like, yes or no. Like, if you're hell-bent on working at Hollister, you might as well just go in and talk to the person and see what the heck is up. But, of course, if it's during the month of October, Hollister might be willing to hire you. So, let's move on to number 3, which is the job interview, okay? So, I'm just going to roll with my example from Aeropostale, because I feel like it is pretty much across the board in terms of retail, what you could expect to see in terms of an interview. So if you are in high school, pretty much the interview that you're going to have is a group interview. Because keep in mind, especially in retail places, they are going to be hiring a lot of people at once. Like, I'm talking like 10 people. And so you're probably going to be in a group interview with 5 to 10 people. So that being said, here are a couple tips on how to, like, kill that interview, and they're pretty simple. Again, dress appropriately. Do not wear flip-flops. Yuck. Maybe sandals if they're cute. Do not have your AirPods in your ears. Do not pull your phone out in your interview at all. Ever. Yuck. And dress appropriately. You do not need to wear a tuxedo. You are in high school. Okay? You do not need that. You just need to dress nice. Don't have stains on your shirt. Don't be looking like a hobo. Just dress nicely. Brush your hair, brush your teeth, wear deodorant. Be approachable. This is nerdy, but it makes you more, not respected, but more like, oh, this kid actually gives a crap. Type up a resume. Okay? For high school, your resume can just be your name, what school you go to, if you take honors classes, what your GPA is, because, you know, it's cool that you're smart. If you do sports, if you do activities, what community service have you done? Just to show that, like, you're serious. Are they really gonna read it? No. Probably not. Probably not. Like I said, especially during holiday, they're gonna hire anybody that is normal, but it does kind of put you into that competitive edge. Now, during the middle of the group interview, should you be like, hey, I brought my resume? No, you little nerd. Don't do that. But maybe, like, if you have a bag, especially if you're a girl and you have a bag, like, keep it in your bag until afterwards and be like, hey, I really hope to hear from you. Here's my resume. Boys, I don't know where you would keep that. I don't know, bring a satchel or something. Or, I don't know. Sorry, boys. I don't know. But so the whole thing about interviewing for holiday is you will be in a group interview, and the way to stand out in a group interview is to talk. Okay? If you sit there and are silent, you're not going to get hired because you're cute. Okay? You have to actually say words. I remember during my interview at Aeropostale, I already knew the manager and the assistant manager because I had been in there so many times to see my friends. But, so I felt more comfortable. But I remember I was in, like, probably a 7-person group interview, and they would be like, so what jobs have you guys had previously? And there was just, like, this moment of silence, and I was like, I was a lifeguard at Shipwreck this past summer, and they were like, okay, so, and then they focused on me, and they were like, so what is one thing you took away from that job? And I was like, probably just how to interact with people. You know, lifeguarding's a little bit different than retail. Lifeguarding, you're more concerned with people being safe, but how do you speak to them in a way that's like, hi, I'm here to help you, but please be safe. And I think that could translate well into retail because you're trying to reason with people or get them to buy something. You know, the more you talk and the more that you are kind of coherent and the more that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to work here, the more likely you are to get hired. I think out of the 6-7 people that interviewed with me, I talked the most because, I mean, hello, if y'all know me, that's no shocker. And then another guy, I think his name was Sean, got hired as well. And he talked probably about half as much as I did, but he was a cute boy, so they're going to hire him. And then they didn't even call back anybody else. And I remember that I think I was walking out of the mall, and they called me, and they were like, oh, hey, we forgot. We need you to sign something. And I was like, okay. And so I went back, and they were like, Megan, you're getting the job. And I was like, oh my God, wow, cool. I get to work with my friends. I was so excited. So that being said, in the interview, be yourself, but talk. On the way there, practice what you're going to say, because they're going to be like, so tell us about yourself. And be like, oh, well, my name's so-and-so. I'm a junior in high school. I, you know, just really want to get some job experience. This is what I like to do, blah, 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 blah. Practice beforehand because it will make the interview easier. So let's talk about my recommendations for actually having a job in high school, because the way in which I'm going to talk about this and the next thing is not for in the present, necessarily in the moment, but what is going to benefit you most in the future down the line. I think you'll get what I mean in a second. Well, that being said, let's say you get a job at Moe's. Jasmine works at Moe's. Let's say you get a job at Moe's, and they want you to work 5 days a week, every day after school. That's crazy. If you obviously have to do that to support your family, that's one thing. I respect the hell out of you. If you are using the money you make to support your family, like that makes me want to cry. But if you have the option to do that or not, do not kill yourself at a job that pays you minimum wage while you are still in school. Especially if you are a sophomore or a junior. God, please just take care of yourself, because I don't want you to get burnt out by the time you're a senior and forget what's really important, which is getting your high school diploma. Honestly, like, take it seriously and like show up and do what you need to do, but don't kill yourself and don't stress yourself out over a job that when you're 22 like me is not gonna, like, it's not gonna matter. Like, obviously I look back fondly now on my Aeropostale times because I don't remember the stress of it, but I knew I stressed out about it sometimes. So do not kill yourself at a job that is ultimately not going to be your career, and you're like extremely replaceable, so that's a thing too. Like I said, don't kill yourself, but show up and do what you need to do, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, obviously it's good to do a good job. Like, that's awesome, and that's what you should do anyways. Like, they are paying you to do a job no matter how crappy they're paying you. But this is how I think of in terms of everything, okay? Every job, every place you are at is a stepping stone to somewhere else, whether it is school right now or a job, okay? If you were in my class, that is a stepping stone to somewhere else, right? Because which like 95% of y'all did, but if you were in my class and you made an effort and you gave a crap, I'm like here for you for the rest of your life, right? I will be a reference for you for every job, every time you need me, because you gave a crap for me, so I'm going to give a crap for you. Same thing goes with every teacher, every person, every job you have for the rest of your life. If you give a crap, hopefully they will give the same craps back to you. So for example, G1 works at a movie theater, okay? He busts his butt at that movie theater too. He worked until like 1 a.m. That's crazy. But that being said, whenever G2 goes on to be he likes to draw. I'm going to say like an animation specialist. Whenever he is applying for those jobs to be an animation specialist, because that's what I've decided he's going to be, he's going to need references, and he's going to be able to go back to his boss at the movie theater and be like, hey man, I worked for you for a year and a half, however long. I busted my butt for you. I need a letter of recommendation for this job. And so hopefully that boss will be like, yeah, man, you did great. Let me type this up for you. Letter of recommendation. There you go. He's going to now be a famous cartoon artist. Heck yeah. Okay. So everything you are doing in life right now, even though it might suck, consider the potential it has for your future, if that makes sense. So like right now, I love being a teacher. I do. You guys know I do, but you guys also know I have plans for further on down the line. So not only am I giving you my all because it's what I love to do, but I'm also thinking about in terms of, oh, well, whenever I need to apply to this place, these are the people now that I'm going to ask because I have shown them that I give lots of craps. Okay? So always be thinking one step ahead. If there is any advice that I can give you, that is it. Always be thinking one step ahead of where you're at right now. So just do a dang good job. I think that sums it up. Do a dang good job, but don't kill yourself. Let's move on to step 5. Step 5 is whenever you want to quit that job. Now, whether it is you're there for 2 weeks, they're either scheduling you for 30 hours a week, which is unacceptable, or they're scheduling you for 4 hours a week, and maybe you need more than that. Maybe you've been at that job for a year and a half, and it's just time to move on. Maybe you've been there for 2 years, and it's time to go to college. Whatever the case is, please, 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 please listen to this advice as I give it to you on how to quit your high school job. The most important thing I think I can say is do not no call, no show. Okay? Don't just stop showing up because, again, keep in mind, you're always trying to be one step ahead. So if you no call, no show, you are, like, let's say when I was a manager at Michael's and you called no showed on me 3 times, you are worthless to me. You do not matter. You are scum. You are garbage. Don't ever come in this store again because you are worthless. Okay? I don't care who you are. If you screwed me like that, goodbye. Okay? Which is kind of what I ended up doing at Michael's. Oops. But that being said, I didn't no call, no show. I just called out for 2 shifts and then they kind of knew I was outie. But that being said, don't no call, no show and go in and talk to the boss in person. You know, it's one thing if you're very close with them and they know you're going off to college. Like that, you know, that open rapport is great so that they're expecting it. But let's say you have been there for 3 weeks and you're like, this just isn't for me. Go in there and be like, hey man, you know, I really appreciate this opportunity, but X, Y, and Z just isn't working out for me, so this is me putting in my 2 weeks. And like I said, go in and talk to them in person. Don't call, no show. Don't text. Don't ring them on the phone. Have the balls to go in there and talk to them. Grow up. Just do it. Okay? Because again, even if you were there for a month, 2 months, you might need them for a reference, especially if you did work hard, and you don't want to burn that bridge. Okay, so do everything respectfully. Always do everything thinking about how will it affect you in the future. So don't be afraid to quit your job. You know, like it's just like it is just life. You're not the first person who's quit a job before. Don't be afraid. Just don't be a baby. Like go in and actually talk to them. So I don't know about you guys, but I felt like that was a very complete